All right, let's go ahead and get started then. Yeah, I think we have who we have. So, yeah, I won't say a whole bunch, but Tristan, go ahead and take it away. I think everyone knows the rules. So, yeah.
Yes. So today I want to show, well, of course, what we have been doing, um, and I'll start with, well, it's a bit of a mix between small quality of life improvements and bug fixes. There has been a question in the community on how can we see what has been improved within NoCode-X. So up until now, it was here latest improvements where you could see every mail that we've been sending. But since the 22nd of July, we've been focusing much more on actually fixing bugs and actually adding new features and not so much on sending the mails. We've been communicating through these campfires, but now we'll start up sending more change logs your way, and we have a new way of doing that. As you might see here on the top right corner, you have something that has a tooltip show NoCodex latest changes, and as you can see, there are already 17 new items in this list. So let's open this up. And I haven't tested it, and that's my mistake. But it doesn't open up right now. So let me quickly try it. Ah, there it is. There it is. And it'll show you the latest changes in NoCodex item by item. So that's the idea. So every time we fix a bug, add a small new feature, we'll add a small item to this list, and you will see it pop up as a notification in NoCodex, and you can see what has been changed within NoCodex. This immediately makes my job a lot easier during the campfire, so I can just go through these changes and demo them one by one if a demo is necessary. So first of all, the thing that one of the things that have been fixed is with top components, and I have to be absolutely 100% clear on this. This is not yet on production. It will be released throughout the day. So I wanted to release it before the campfire, but I had some problems with the development environment that needed fixing first. But I promise I will deliver this on production today. So you will all be enjoying these bug fixes and these extra features today as well. So one of the things that we fixed is the top component did not display child elements when one of the top's code was changed. So you create a new top and you change its code, and then or you create a new top, add child elements to it, and then change its code. There was a bug that the top component does not display the child element. So we fixed that bug. So the top component now displays all the child elements that are in it. We've also improved or we fixed a bug in the drag and drop experience from the vertical list and the horizontal list, which made it well sometimes very hard to drop an item on the correct place. So we actually improved this experience by fixing that bug. So dragging items, you will see after today, will be much more smoother and much more responsive as you are accustomed to. So it's actually very much related to the visual feedback during dragging of an item to show you exactly where you will be dropping it. So another bug that we fixed, and I can maybe show it to you to be 100% clear. So if we open up a random action right here. So what was the case if I added another element to this action? We would have number one and number two, and if I then would remove number one, this would stay at number two. So this has been updated as well. So this bug has been fixed. You get now the actual order of the edges stay correct. So that has been fixed as well. What has also been fixed is zooming in and out within actions was different than on the template editor. So first of all, if you open this up, you couldn't click these buttons. That was a bug. We fixed this bug and this number is updated correctly. And now you can also use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out, exactly the same as is the case on templates. So that should make it a little bit more easier for you guys. Then what we've also added is something that we call a fallback image. If what? So a fallback image, which allows you to, when you're using an image on your page, you are allowed to add a fallback. So you can pick an image from your media library or from an URL, and then you can add a fallback image, which actually means that if the loading of the first image fails, it'll automatically trickle down into the fallback image. That is perfect for when you're using dynamic images, for example, coming from your database. And the URL of the image is broken or something like that, you can add a fallback image, and this fallback image can be visualized, for example, with like we are doing with an image of an image. So this is good for these use cases. So that's that. Um, with regards to the function hide and dialogue, this function has been enhanced a little bit. So I'll just remove these. Hide a dialogue now has the option to to make you refresh the page after closing the dialogue or not. So you'll be able to put this true or false, or you'll be able to even add a conditional that if this conditional is true, it will hide it, it will refresh the page or not. So voila, so you'll be able to do that. The next thing is so there was a bug where
Hey, Tristan,
when you yes.
okay. Sorry, when you say hide a dialogue, is that like hiding a reusable template, or what exactly does that mean? What is dialogue in this context?
Let me quickly show you guys. So let's just quickly create a page here. And then, and since I'm on localhost, I'll just have to check. Or I can show it on production. That's maybe better. I won't be able to show the bug fix on production, but I'll give you an idea on what it actually means. So let's open up another application right here. So we're now in the root. Let's add a template, dialog, and this is a reusable component, something like this. And then let's just add a vertical list to this template. Let's make it have a width of 100%, like this, and then a height of 100%. Up, and let's position it to completely in the corner. Okay, and then we can add a title, and we can add a button, for example, a button.
Yep.
That's just an example. So I have my title, and then you have a page, and this page has a button. Voila. I will call this button open dialog. And we add to this button, we add a small action, which will show a dialog. Show a dialog. Voila. And now, thanks to the new and improved documentation, you can read all about show a dialog here, what it actually does. But in a nutshell, it opens up something that we call in web development world a dialogue, or it's also sometimes being called a modal. You can choose the template to use while opening it up, and I'll show you the result in a second. Parameters can be added to this, and you can add some other things like the width and the height and the minimum width and such of your dialogue. And the result of this is, let me quickly switch this off so I don't forget it. And we also have to, of course, switch this off. If we open up this page, it should show me the button. And if I open up the button, it shows you the dialogue, the other template in what we call a dialogue slash modal. Now, the problem was, what at some point in time you want to hide the dialogue again. So let's add an action to this button. Hide a dialogue. And then voila. So this dialogue should be hidden when I click this button right here. So I might have to reload this page. So now it's hidden. So that's the way it worked to open up a dialogue and to hide it. Now the default behavior before we did this fix was that after a dialogue is hidden, the entire page is refreshed. You cannot see it because it's a single page app, but the entire page is refreshed, and the onload actions of that page are re-executed. That's
Okay.
perfect for when you have like an overview page and you want to use a dialogue to add an item to that overview page. And then once you hide the dialogue, the overview is being reloaded, containing the new item that you added. But it's not something that you want in every case. So now we've added the option for you to opt out of that default behavior.
Gotcha. One more question while we're on this topic. If I wanted to pop up a modal window and allow the user to enter some data, like a invoice number, and then return that back to the main template or action, is that possible?
Well, you would have to do it through. Well, this is something that we. This is something that we are working on with regards to global variables. So global variables will make that much easier for you. But you could do it, for example, through parameters. You could do it, and there is also an action that you can call. Let me quickly try and find it. So when you open the dialogue, you can pass in an action that will be executed after you close the dialogue. So this way you can have like an event that can be handled after closing the dialogue. Now, that being said, global variables will make this much easier for you. So you would only have to set the global variable in the action that is called by the dialogue, and then you would have to read those global variables in another action. So once that is done, you would have a much easier time doing these kind of things.
Okay. Cool.
Now, another bug. Let me go back in here and let me. There was
Kristen,
also
we're
a bug.
question. Sorry,
Yes,
we're following.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Well,
Yeah, of course.
I have a question. Where is the place where we can define that global variables? Is it somewhere?
Yes. So in actions, you can add. You can use the function add global variable or remove global variable.
Okay.
So what it does, Rafal, is it just requires you to, well, this is remove, which only requires you to define a variable name, add global variable as only the name and the value. And the idea is, so at the moment, global variables are used to replace placeholders. So you can use this to replace placeholders on your page. And it doesn't really matter if you add this global variable in an action that's being called in a template that's on a template that's on a template, and your placeholder is somewhere else on the template. Doesn't matter. It will be global for your entire application. And what we're doing now, or what we will be doing, is we will be giving you the opportunity to also read those global variables in the actions that you use. So this will actually allow you to keep track of the state of your application and use that state of your application throughout every action, every page of your application quite easily. It is really a big quality of life improvement as a developer.
Okay.
Because
And
before global variables, you had to worry about template parameters and passing template parameters to actions,
yes,
and then
yes.
so this opens it up completely, and you'll be able to use these global variables throughout all actions, throughout all templates. But I have to tell you,
Yeah.
as is always the case, with great power comes great responsibility or great you have to use this responsible, because global variables are what they are global, and if you define a global variable with the same name twice in your application, you might have bugs that you are creating. So watch out with it, but yeah, use it responsibly. Yeah.
And we can define every type of that variables, yes?
Yes, so every type that you might want to use. Let me see what we have provided up until now. We've got something from your scope, an element,
Okay.
list, blah, 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 conditional, and so on. So yeah, so there are quite a lot of possibilities for you.
Nice.
Hey,
Thank you.
so Tristan, when you say, we have to be responsible with it and not define them in two different places. So if I have two different actions and both actions say add a global variable with the same variable name, is that the situation that will cause a problem, or would one just overwrite the other?
Well,
Like with the latest call overwrite the
one just overrides the other, huh?
Okay.
And that
Okay.
could be or could not be a problem in your case. And so
Oh, okay.
that's what you'll have to make sure that this is not a problem when you do so, but you can do so,
Gotcha.
of course.
Okay, cool. I thought you meant that would cause a problem for NoCode-X if it did that, but
No,
okay,
no,
good.
no, 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 no. And also,
Cool.
what I have to mention is global variables are well, they float between the transient state and the persistent state. They are persistent. You can look at them as persistent up until the user decides to refresh the page. So and there's a difference. That's also something that I have to tell you. There's a difference between moving from one page to another page in your application and refreshing your entire application. So this button, refresh your entire application, moving from one page to another page in your application, refreshes the page or the view, but it doesn't refresh the entire application. So once the user clicks this, you'll have to load in the global variables again using an onload function, maybe of your, if you want to have a default set of global variables, you could use like the onload function of your root page to do so, for example. And of course, you'll be able to persist also the information that is in the global variables because you have access to it in your action. So you'll be able to persist it in your database as well. Does that make sense?
When you will provide the read global variable function?
I cannot really put a date on this yet, but we are working on it at the moment. So as fast as possible, but we are working on a lot as well. So
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there was a bug when opening a dialog. You have this option that you can have the dialog be closed by an outside click or not. And this bug will probably be in here. So I can now close this dialog by clicking this grayed out area. And if I put it on false, I should not be able to close it. But this did not work correctly, and now it works. So as you can see, I cannot close this dialog anymore unless I click the big click here button, which closes the dialog itself. So this is one of the bugs that we also fixed since the last campfire. So another one that we fixed, excuse me, is a tooltip look and feel. Well, there was a bit of a confusion between the tooltips and drop-down lists. So, for example, this is a drop-down list, and the tooltips actually had exactly the same look and feel of the drop-down list. So people were clicking the tooltips. So what we did is we gave them another look and feel to get rid of this confusion. So the tooltips now are being visualized in a much smaller text, and voila, yeah, that's a bit a quality of life improvement to make the UX better. So I don't have to elaborate a lot on that. Um, this is maybe an interesting one as well. So you had the opportunity to add descriptions to your versions. If I have a version, I can add like version 2, for example, and I could add like a description. Now I can add markdown to this description, uh, to add my own changelog to this version, and start like well, putting in here whatever that I have changed. So fixed bug 1, fixed bug 2, something like that. And once I save this, you now also have the opportunity to actually view what is being written in this description. So I am on, yeah, so this is being created. So we've added this little new button right here to help you toggle the actual description of your version. So we'll wait until this version is done creating, and then I can show you guys. So voila, this version is done. And as you can see, I can now read what has actually changed in this version. So you'll be able to keep track of your own changes in versions as well. Another thing that we did is what used to be the case is that you would have an opportunity to select elements like this, and you would have the opportunity to select elements like that. What we do now is when you select an element through the navigator, we automatically center on that selected element. So you can find the element immediately when you select it. Another thing that we did is we have this design system baked into your application where you can put in standard theme colors and dark theme colors. And I'll show you by, for example, this template that I created earlier. So if I add like a button to this template, it automatically gets the primary color of my design system. Of course, as you can see here in the design system, I have a different primary color for my standard theme than I have for my dark theme. Now I can add a button to the page, and for to be 100% clear, every single element that you put on your page has like a default link to your design system with regards to colors, fonts, etc. But I'm just going to show it to you guys with use of the button as an example. So I'll call this button switch mode, and then I'll put in an action behind this button, and I'll just use the new function switch light dark mode. And this function takes no parameters at all at the moment. So I'll open up my template again, and I'll test it. And normally I should see. Oh yeah, and of course I am on localhost, so this might not work. Yeah, I'll have to refresh the cache because I'm showing this on localhost. It's a technical thing, but the thing is, it switches you to dark mode, and if you click it again, it switches you back to light mode. So it should change the color of your button. So you're now able to use dark light mode, the design system in the applications that you build.
Yeah, we are presenting on a version for developers, and we don't have like every cluster thing, so it's we cannot show everything.
Yeah, that's a bit of so as Maciek is telling you, we are actually showing you the development version, and we have like an issue on development for clearing the cache, and we have to actually restart our instance on development if we want to clear the cache. So that makes giving a demo a bit harder, but feel free to test this out once we release it tonight, and you'll see that it's quite easy to do, and it is easy to do, and it works as well. So yeah, another thing that we did is when you go into functions, for example, the action that I created right here to switch to the light and dark mode, we alphabetically sorted, and this is also because of here on a development version. But we alphabetically sorted the categories, and we've alphabetically sorted the functions that are in those categories. So that is again a quality of life improvement that should make the UX feel better. What we've also done, and this is also quality of life improvement, we've also indicated with a color whether your page is protected by authentication or not. So in this case, my page is protected, all is green, and if I switch it off, you'll see it turn to orange. You'll in one glance you'll see whether your page is protected or not. Yeah, then there was a bug where buttons had a different look and feel on the template editor versus the actual application. So we fixed this bug, and buttons should actually look exactly the same on both the template editor as the actual application. Another thing that we've done is we've got this function that allows you to map a list of objects to a list of attributes, which is called map to attribute or map to attributes. So the map to attribute just maps a list of objects to a list of the values of one particular attribute. Let me just voila, like this. And map to attributes maps a list of objects to a list of objects with a subset of the attributes of the first list of objects, if that makes sense. So I can show this to you guys how it works. So for example, if I create new list, or create list, create an empty list like this. Voila, create a list and add item, add to lists, for example, this up, and then I can add like an item to the, no, I have to select the actual list right here that I created, and now I can add an item. So for example, name, and I'll add Tristan, and then I'll add surname, for example, and then I'll add Van. Okay. So this is we'll just call this created list, and we'll write out what the result is in the logs, and then we'll also do a map to attributes, and I'll define the JSON paths right here, and the JSON path is name, and I'll just leave the name empty like this, and then I'll change surname to last name, for example, or I'll change name to first name. That's maybe better. And then I'll get the results, and I'll also write out the results. So what this will do is it will change my list too, so we won't see any log messages here, but we will see them here. So as you can see, the first log line that has been written out is the actual list that I created first, containing 2 attributes for my object, surname and name, and I transformed it to another list containing 2 attributes in this case, first name and last name, being in a different order and being the actual names of attributes that I have defined. Of course, I can now I don't have to map to exactly the same attributes. I can map to a list of a different set of attributes, of course. So as you will see now, I have only a list of objects that have first name. So this really gives you a power to transform data from one format to another format quite easily. So that's another change we did. Then we all know that we can generate APIs using AI by starting from a data schema. Now the error was, or there was a bug that didn't allow you to, the generated functions did not have an attribute, no, a field attributes on the fetch data list, or fetch list of records from the database. So I'll show you what this field actually does. So fetch a list of data records is a function that fetches some data from your database based on which data schema. So I have here the chat logs data schema, and I can set the amount. I can set some filters. So for example, if I wanted to only get some chat logs from a certain date or something like that, I can add some filters to it. But what I can also do is add some attributes if I'm only interested in a certain set of attributes. So if we execute this action right now, and I forgot, but I have to write this out to the logs to see any result. So if we execute this function right now, we'll see that the data fetches an amount of 10 items. So let's just map this to the body, and then we'll see, we'll see everything that is being fetched from the database. So I map the list to another list which contains only the bodies of whatever I fetch from the database. So if I execute this now, I should see a list which has some data in it. Now this data has several fields. For example, user request, AI response, session ID, instruction ID, modified by, modification by, update, etc. I can now add attributes to this list, and I can define which attributes specifically I am interested in. So if I now execute this, this will only leave me with the user request attribute for, and of course the ID of every single item that I fetched from my database. So the thing was, when I generated an API using AI, this field was not there, so you cannot adjust it afterwards. So we fixed that problem. So now the attributes field will be there, so you can adjust it after the AI generated your API. Another thing that we've done is actually this field did not work on all functions. So there are some functions that implement this field. So we've got fetch a list of data records. We've also got fetch a record by ID, and we've also got search one data record. They all use this attributes field, and it didn't work on fetch a list of data records. So we made it work on this function as well. So that is, in a nutshell, everything that we have been working on and everything that we will release today. And yeah, and then the big chunks of work are still in progress, of course, and we'll be updating you guys soon about that as well.
Very
Does
cool.
anybody have any questions about what I've shown you guys?
You can drag action on the connector.
Yes. So this is something that well, yeah, you have to know about it, but you can if you put your cursor on the edge, it's is
That's nice.
inserted in between. Now somebody suggested um, um, a functionality that would allow you to add something without even having to drag and drop. So I'm still figuring out how that would look UX wise. But again, we are not on we're not anymore considering it. We'll be able to do that, but I'm still still figuring out how that would look exactly with regards to UX. What I'm thinking about is adding like a plus button right here, which allows you to add one or plus button right here, for example. I see there is a question from Milena, publicly visible on a separate changelog page. That's a good question. I will have to. So as I mentioned last time, we've invested in a little bit of a software to allow us to do these things easily. I can look into that. And if that's not the case, we'll build a page where it can be displayed separately. Voila. Fuad, you have a question?
Yeah, hi. I've been
Hey.
lurking around. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. I've been lurking around in the Discord channel and been, of course, these Campfire videos. Okay, well, I'm not a coder by any stretch of an imagination. I'm more of a product management type of person. So I'm familiar with technology, but definitely not in the hardcore development and coding side. Now, my question is, I have, in order to dip my toes into the pool, so to speak, I have a couple of ideas, and let me share one of them.
Okay.
And I would like to get your idea. As I said, I'm very interested in the platform. I can see it's very, very powerful, and it's got more and more features by the day. But in its current form, it's way above my pay grade. Let's put it this way. Let me quickly share the link. How are you otherwise, everyone?
Doing good.
I'm fine, thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Excellent.
If you want to share your screen also, Fuad, that's fine too. If you want to share your screen.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, well, if I could just get it working. As they say, anything that could go wrong typically goes wrong, when you need it. So yeah, it's one of those moments. So hang on a second, guys. Okay, here we go. Can you see me? Can you see it?
Yes.
Data digital transformation, yes.
Correct. So I would this particular report is done using Sitecore, one of the CMSs. And it's well, if you scroll around, if you look around, let me. Yeah, it's a fancy report with D3 as and some Tableau data, very, very fancy. But my question basically is, how can I best use NoCode-X to dip my toe, and if not possible, I'd have to explore options of hiring somebody to do this for me. it's a lot of data, very nicely formatted, as you can see, and the only UI UX area, pretty. It's you know, it's very focused type of report. So this is pretty much it. These are recurring reports. So CMS would typically be a good good option for it. You know, the numbers change, the titles, the content change, but the overall layout, design, and functionality pretty much remains the same. So I would like to basically, you know, find out, is this a feasible dipping the toe in the pond kind of project, or is there something else? Because you know, as I said, it's way above my I typically would hire people for development work, but in this particular case, I really want to start using NoCode-X. It's been a while since I acquired it. So yes, I'll you know, take it from here and let me know what do you think. You know, is this a feasible project to start with?
Well, I think if you, well, that depends on the amount of data in your record and or in your report, and how you intend to store that data in NoCode-X. But I think you can make it as simple as you would like to make it. For example, let me just give you an example. So in NoCode-X, we actually store data as documents, which is different from most applications, or different from relational databases, so to say, which actually means that a document in its own can have some multiple attributes, and they can be nested in several ways. So if you, like, for example, would have one document containing all the data that is needed to visualize your report, creating a page that visualizes that data can be quite straightforward, in a sense that you would only need to fetch one piece of data from the database and then use placeholders to visualize it. Now, that can be perfectly done pretty easily with regards to, like, these percentages that you see. If you at least have these percentages stored in your database, if you have to calculate those percentages based on data, that's a different story. Then you'll have to add some logic to calculate those percentages as well. Now, that would not be that difficult as well. The only thing is, if you start creating graphs and stuff like that, which is also, of course, a possibility, because we have built-in graphs like pie charts and donut charts. You can create them as well, but you'll have to create the logic to feed the data to those charts as well. Now, we have functions that allow you to do that, but it can be a little bit of a learning curve to do that. It might be depending on how you how experienced you are. It might be more challenging or less challenging. I cannot make that observation for you, because you can only do that by yourself if you dive in, of course. But I think you can make it as complex as you want, of course, depending on the report that you want to generate.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, okay, as I said, you know, I would like to start with NoCode-X with something in my mind. This, you know, having a using Sitecore or some of the other CMSs is relatively easy. Now, my questions will be, okay, I know NoCode-X definitely can do the back end and perhaps link to a database, maybe Superbase or one of the databases to store the content, let's say, the variables.
Well, sorry, I'm interrupting, but you can do that with NoCode-X. You can actually go to Superbase and fetch your data, but the absolute easiest way of doing it is just storing the data in the built-in database of NoCode-X.
Okay. All right. Well, that's probably going to be out of my capability, or I'd rather not do that. I would. It would be a lot easier for me to learn from someone who is more experienced.
Okay.
My question at this point would be, are there any developers who you think can how complex would it be to because I was thinking rocket mode, explaining it and so on, but then I feel there's still quite a lot of tinkering, the nuts and bolts that would need to happen before we get to this presentable level. Now, how can I bridge this gap to start this particular project, for example? I mean, I've got a long list of other projects that I know that I could use in the future, but in the meantime, are there developers that you know of? Maybe there's a list, or people. Yeah,
I can most definitely get you in contact with developers. We've got some agencies that are partnering up with NoCode-X, so I can definitely get you in contact with one of these agencies. Then you can have a talk, explain your project, and come to an agreement or not. And if not, we can introduce you to another agency. That's not a problem. I can also maybe help you while learning NoCode-X. That's not a problem as well. I do that with some people where
I appreciate that, Tristan, but I know you must be very busy with the general development and so on. So I much appreciate your willingness, but I respect for the rest of the community. I'd prefer you concentrate on building this thing up even more. I'm happy to have a talk with the developers. As I said, can I do this any other way? Yes, there are plenty of options I can do it with, but this is for my own learning. I really appreciate the platform, but it's just in its current state, it's too complex for me. So I would like a hybrid approach of learn as I watch someone build, perhaps approach. So that would help me with a more non-coder approach to this. So
makes sense.
So that's my little I'd appreciate any help with that. Maybe we can take it offline later on or another time, but I definitely would like to explore this more. I really appreciate everything that you guys have put into it, and the community in general. It's really a fantastic thing.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for these words. And
good answer, Fly. Way to not let Tristan take on more work than he needs to right now. So good job protecting.
Thanks for protecting myself against myself.
No. I can only, being an agency owner, I can only imagine the kind of madness that you'd have to deal with, not just from the technical side of things, but all the other areas, making sure this is a well-oiled machine, and making sure all things don't fall off, wheels don't fall off, and so on. So no, I appreciate that, and I prefer you do what you do best, and we'll find ways of getting around learning the platform. So awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So let us decide. Well, let us get you into contact with one of these agencies, and then we can
Okay.
take it up from there. All right?
Very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Are
All
there
right.
any other?
Yeah, we're almost at time.
No, I'm done.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm done.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions or comments on anything?
Maybe just 5 cents from my side. I think a lot of effect on this website we see is from typography and very carefully crafted layouts, and this is good news because it's something easy to start on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, there is
Exactly.
also data and charts parts.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I noticed as well.
Yeah, I realize it looks easy, but for me this works just for me it's a perfect kind of project. It's very UI good looking, but it definitely has its technical challenges behind it. But yeah, I thought that this this is definitely something I would like to I'd be interested in tinkering with. So yeah, thank you.
I think, by the way, that is definitely doable within NoCode-X because
I have no doubt about it.
yeah. But as Maciek mentioned, many of a lot of the look and feel of the page comes from indeed carefully selecting the fonts, carefully selecting the colors, and so on. So yeah. But I think for what you can have a head start with Rocket Mode. Well, if we one of the things that we are working on right now, actually, which is one of the further things of Rocket Mode, is actually hooking up the graphs that we generate with Rocket Mode with actual data. So that is the thing that's coming up next. So you might be interested in just checking out Rocket Mode once it is there. Then you maybe have a lot less of the nuts and bolts to adjust
Tinker with.
after Rocket Mode. Yeah, tinker with. Yeah.
Right.
Voila.
Yeah. I think that's one. I think I'm AppSumo tier. Is it tier 2 or 3? So well, I can always replenish the AI credits. That's not an issue. Gentlemen, any one of you have have you got prompts for the Rocket Mode, like the most efficient?
There are now if you this is a change. I don't know when you tested Rocket Mode earlier, but now we have like these 4 example prompts that you can use if you well, it says here
I showed them
if
last
you have,
time, yes, but I
yeah.
haven't really used them. But yes, thank you. I remember. I think maybe a reporting dashboard might be something I'd start with. Yeah.
Yeah, something like this. And we are so last time I think I showed this blood pressure measure application. So we are now starting to generate these applications, and once the hookup with the graphs, I think we're ready to also show some example applications below, so you can actually see what you can do with each of these prompts as well.
Fantastic.
And these examples will just be you will just be the same effect as you would enter the prompt and then hit looks good until you're done, and that voila, and that will be the end result there. So you can adjust
Fantastic.
it anyway.
I look forward to that. I think that would again, for a non-coder, that would be a the lifesaver, a godsend. So I look forward to that. Thank you, Tristan, and thank you everyone for the input. Appreciate it. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Fuad. Thank you. Yes. I see there are 2 people raising their hands.
Oh,
Please, Steve. Please, Steve.
no, I don't know why mine went up. I think I might have the AI detector.
Okay. I have two things. One is about the newest publish that fix you which you have fixed. Are you
Yes.
going to publish tonight, today, Tristan?
Today. I promise today.
Today. No, it's
I will
Don't
not go
promise.
to sleep before it is on
no,
production.
no. Please sleep well. Please sleep well. And I think it's Fuad. Is it your name, Mr. Fuad?
Yes, it is.
Fuad. I think I understand you. What for what do you need that rocket mode or NoCode-X? And I think because I am developer of NoCode-X, and I know for what how the rocket mode is helping for developers and users of NoCode-X, and I think this is very good tool to create the basic MVP of your application. But that what you have showed on your screen, it need a lot of work for in NoCode-X to prepare something like that, and a lot of things of CSS
Yes.
which I saw.
Yes.
I can't explain how to prepare that exactly the same. I think it is possible, but it need a lot of time and diving there and looking for the NoCode-X is a very powerful platform, but for developers who has time to work and learn this platform. So
Yes.
so the rocket mode will not show you that exactly the same application which you have showed to us here, but it will help a lot. Yes.
Okay, great. I much appreciate it. I have seen from one of the YouTube videos or tutorials rather, where one can record a short, like a screenshot of the using maybe Loom or something, and then feed it to Google Gemini and say, okay, replicate this, or something along those lines. I was wondering. I don't expect it at this stage that the rocket mode would be that comprehensive in the understanding of it. But do you think that would help? Say, if I would record a screenshot or video of the app and show it the different features, and they say, "Hey, replicate this for me," or
Well, Rocket Mode cannot do that at the moment, so you cannot upload like a video or an image to Rocket Mode. But I think, and that's also on the roadmap of Rocket Mode. For example, uploading images of the look and feel of your application, and then saying just copy the look and feel of this application.
Correct.
It will be possible to some extent, of course. I cannot promise you that it will be exactly the same, because we are always dependent on the capabilities of AI that is available today, and we try to use this AI as good as possible, and it will probably create something that is very similar, but it will have some gaps always. We're not in a perfect world yet where you can create anything that you just describe and it's perfectly as you described it.
I totally get it, and it's not something that I expect or reasonably expect at this point.
Yeah.
It definitely would take time. The one part of that tutorial, the take-home message for me was you can always ask Gemini to create the prompts.
Exactly. Yeah.
To feed a no-code platform like Lovable, or that's where I thought about rocket mode, for example, or any other no code, the vibe coding apps out there. So I think that is a more reasonable expectation. Would you say that's correct? No?
Exactly, because if we would implement it in Rocket mode, we would do exactly the same thing. We would just give your screenshot or your video to a multimodal LLM, and then we ask the LLM generate a prompt that describes exactly what is on these videos, and then we would use this prompts in generating your future pages. So you could do that at the moment by just going to Gemini, asking it to Gemini, and put in the prompt in Rocket mode as well. So that would be, and I think it would be helpful because these things then can detect the fonts, the colors that are being used, and so on. So they can describe it much more easily and much more faster than if you would have to look at the code and detect this font and some stuff like that. So that would be very helpful. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you once again. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Fuad.
All right. Well, with that, thank you everyone for joining today, and thank you for.
I think before we end, there is Milena just saw the thread between Conrad and Steve about API management. I did not see that during the campfire. Maybe you can comment a little bit about that.
You're talking to me, right, Tristan?
Yes, Steve.
Sorry, I was just going back through the old messages in Discord, and I saw Conrad had I thought he had asked a question about what is an API, and so I just replied to that because if I read correctly up above, he said he didn't know what an API was, despite having a lot of experience, and so I just gave an answer around that. So I just saw his reply. Let me see what it says real quick. Wording is so complex, interface is so unintuitive, the services. Okay, I think he's talking about usability and NoCode-X for creating APIs. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Let me see. You don't have to input. Well, just look at the application. Where's our name? Yeah, I'm not sure we're all talking about this. I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing. He's talking about the ease of setting up, I think, integrations with other applications versus creating an API in NoCode-X. That sounds a little different. So
yeah, so we have to. I'll try explaining it because that can be very confusing. There are two when you're using NoCode-X. There are two places that you can talk about an API. First of all, the first place is where you want to create your API. So that means you have some data or some functionality that you want to expose to other applications or to other software using an application programming interface, so an API. So other software can call your API and execute your logic. That's one thing. That's creating an API. And then we've got another thing that is actually calling. You want to integrate with other services, so you're now the caller of the API. That's the other thing. And with regards to the first thing, I think we've made it as simple as possible. Maybe we can add another layer to make it even more simple. Of course, AI can help us with that. We also have the generation of the APIs at the moment. With regards to actually calling the API, this is in my mind in the future, and this is one of the also upcoming, I say this a lot, an upcoming feature of Rocket mode is where we make the Rocket mode aware of what is in our marketplace. So we've got a marketplace which has integrations with other APIs of other SaaS products. If Rocket Mode is aware what is in this marketplace, Rocket Mode will be able to use the plugins that are in this marketplace to create integrations between different SaaS products. And this would be the easiest way of integrating with other systems in NoCode-X. And the way that I look at it is it should not only install the plugin. Well, Rocket Mode should not only install the plugin that is in the marketplace, but it should also drag you through an onboarding process of actually becoming or creating an account on that SaaS product, actually buying or purchasing a package while you are using Rocket Mode, and then actually going to fetch an API key from that service and using this API key in your communication in your application. So we're in fact excuse me. We're in fact trying to create a completely seamless integration or experience while integrating with other platforms while using Rocket Mode. So that's how we look at it, and that's how we think it should be done. But please, I think this conversation is interesting because it gives us ideas on how to improve both sides of using APIs in NoCode-X.
Yeah, I'm waiting on to respond, but if he's talking about the integration, if he's talking about how to use an action to integrate, then yeah, I think I know what he's saying, because I've used other tools like make.com and whatnot, and they are pretty easy to set up and configure, especially when you look at, being able to debug and see what data was moved from one module to another and whatnot. And that's pretty convenient to have. And I'd love to see something like that in NoCode-X one day. But
yeah, and that's the idea, but then based on what we have in the marketplace. Because well, Make does it really good. They have this onboarding, so they make it as seamless as possible. You don't have to go look for your API key. They hook up the connection. We want to do the same thing. We want to do it based on the marketplace, and we want to have Rocket Mode use that marketplace as well. That's a bit the idea.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah. Let's see what he comes back with, and we'll continue the conversation in Discord. So,
and I agree. This would make NoCode-X much more usable to non-technical people, which is actually what we want to achieve in the end, anyway.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a great week, and we'll see you
guys
next week.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.